Please tell me a little bit about Winco stamping, background processes, and so forth.
Sure. So we are a high mix, low volume stamping. So with that said, we're talking about anywhere between 1,000 to 100,000 EAU, um, and very diverse. Our largest customer is somewhere between 12 and 14% of our annual sales. We started in
Right?
1948. Our original owner worked for another metal stamping company in the tool room, and he learned the trade and decided at one point he was going to go off on his own. So I love to tell people he continued working at that company, but at night he would stop at the steel warehouse, whoever it may have been, put sheets of steel on the roof of his car, drive home, load them in through the basement window, and then he had a little press and a little hand shear, and he and his wife would make metal stampings at night, and then he'd go back to work the next day until he built up a big enough customer base that he thought he could go off on his own.
That is incredible. I
It
love
is
it.
incredible. The American dream, right? I went really quick from 2014 to 2019 learning how to become a business owner.
Then
So we're an EOS company. I don't know if you're familiar with EOS. So
Yeah.
we live and die by the book traction here. So I would say that's my number one resource. Another book we've loved and have really adopted as a company is The One Thing by Gary Keller. And that's really taught us to put that first domino first. What is the most important thing that needs to happen right now? It's not get caught up in the whole long term. What has to happen right now? It's really given us some good discipline.
there's a
Other than that, I would say again, the trial by fire. I say I like to be the dumbest person in the room. I'm not always the dumbest person in the room, but I like to surround myself with smart people and always learn. So the first thing I did is I joined Press Club, a PMA networking group, and I really look at them kind of as my board of advisors, um, is as far as the industry is concerned. And then I joined a Vistage group, and I kind of look at them as my mentors in leadership. So both of those have been great resources for me.
Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. I can't say enough good things about the Press Club group. I love all the people in it, and like I said, it's continuous learning how other people are doing things. I love that.
And it sounds as though, I think this is part of PMA's, DNA, the sharing and benchmarking,
Yeah,
friendly benchmarking, and
yeah,
it's wonderful that we're a resource.
yeah, absolutely.
So, so you mentioned a couple of these books and some of the strategies therein. Are there any other, or would you say, guiding principles or credos that guide your and direct your management style?
Um, yeah, and so this goes back to how the company was before, but uh, I'll paraphrase. I don't know it exactly, but a quote I've always loved by Richard Branson is treat people so that they can leave, and then, or train people so that they can leave, and then treat them so they won't. And I think really for us at the end of the day is people are people, right? And they have their own stuff going on in their worlds. And yes, they have to come to work and they have to do a good job, but they're still people. Um, we need to manage the business by the numbers and the data, but it's again, it's still people behind those numbers and the data. And you just need to treat people like they're people and not numbers or not a means, to get what you want at the end of the day. I think um, that's really our number one here. We're very family oriented. We have a very aggressive PTO and personal time off plan. And we always say here, just because your salary or you work in the office, why is your kid's Christmas concert or soccer game more important than somebody else's? So it's just treat people like the old adage, right? Like you would like to be treated.
What are you most proud of?
Uh, I'll go back to I guess I alluded to it with EOS and how we've changed a little bit, but I would say changing the culture here. Uh, we came from an environment here where people worked hard out of fear. It
Mm,
was do what you're told, don't think for yourselves.
mm.
Now, with EOS, everybody has a voice, um, and people work hard and they perform because they want the company to succeed. They believe in what we're doing.
Then last, because PMA is located in Cleveland,
Okay.
uh, who is your favorite rock and roll Hall of Famer?
Um, that's another loaded question. I'm in a 70s and 80s classic rock cover band, so
Nice. I
we,
saw that you.
we we play a lot of those people's music. So
Great.
um, that's like asking who your favorite child is. I don't think you
Oh.
answered that right, but um, I will say it's fun now, being of the age that our heroes, right, when we were growing up, are now being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Before it was people that we didn't really know growing up. So now for me, it's the Bon Jovis and the Def Leppards and all those Kiss and all those guys being inducted is fun to watch. Um, but I would have to say my absolute number one would be Prince.
Oh, wow.
Hands
Cool.
down, it's Prince. When he died, my wife and I looked at each other and we were like, we've got to do something. So within a week of his death, we put a party together in our basement, rented purple lights throughout the basement, played Prince all night. You had to dress up as Prince to get into the party. So
I hope you have pictures.
we have a lot of pictures.
I love it. I love